She seems to have kind of heard the sounds and now very much sees, as I imagine you're kind of like extending the glow, like the light range of the sword. And she, with like one final just vicious blow with this massive warhammer, crushes Kochchi's head, and then takes to flight.
I look to Mithor and say, "Run!" We turn. Lulu,
and she very quickly flies toward you. She catches up to you fairly quickly as you're kind of flying back to Avernus. She says, "No, you won't deprive me of those souls to fight in the war." And then she sees Lulu. And Lulu says in Celestial, "Just, can we talk?" She follows you to the high hall. As she lands on the ground and kind of walks toward you, of course, she towers over all of you. She kind of pulls in these red wings over her kind of pale white head and glowing red eyes. You see this halo of flame. And Lulu kind of comes back to join you all. As you approach, Olanthius kneels before Zariel, and you can kind of see this look of anger and hate and fury just soften just a little bit as you see these feelings kind of rush over her. Sorrow, regret. She says, "So you found my sword. My path is set. I gave up everything to protect those I love." And she kind of shoots Lulu this angry glance. "To protect those I love from the demons. To take the fight to the demons. My path is set. I am what I am."
But we've made our choice to save those that we don't even know from a choice that they didn't even get.
That's the nature of war. There are casualties. The souls of El Terrell, they don't know it yet, but they'll become part of my army. They'll become...
Oh, no. They know, and they don't want it. I don't want it. This is my home. You have taken that from me. You have made it personal. If I could wield your sword, I would fly my ass up there and strike the companion right now. The only reason I am not is because of Lulu.
You and the Hell Riders made the decision to go to war as that was your choice and your job and your duty. But all the people that live here, the men, women, and children, didn't make that choice for themselves. You made it for them. That's not war, that's slavery.
You don't understand. We here, my army, me, we're saving you all from demons. This is the front line of this war.
That has not moved.
Doing this, demons would lay everything to waste. What are a few souls of El Terrell?
This front line has not moved since you have taken your post.
Imagine if I weren't here fighting. Imagine if I weren't destroying demons. Who knows what have happened up there? Who knows what towns might have been laid to waste if not for me?
Exactly. Who knows? Who knows the amount of lives that you could have saved instead of ensnaring and making them do your bidding?
Lulu says in Celestial, pleading, crying. She says, "Zariel, this isn't you. You don't belong here. I miss you." Then you see this pained look come over Zariel's face. "Why did you bring her to me?"
She brought us to you.
If not for her, companion would be shattered.
Damn hellhounds.
There's a battle going on below us, okay, guys? Jeez. You've already failed.
Her angry gaze turns at you, Kissa. How so? I could strike you down right now and destroy that sword.
Yes, and the demon war will persist. And the lives that you think will make a difference won't. And you'll continue to battle here forever.
And you'll have become everything you are here fighting against.
And not only that, but now all the souls that once thought that you were the world to them, that worshipped you, that thought you good and pure, will now know for a fact that you failed.
We used to sing songs of your glory here in this very high hall.
Elanthius says, Lady Zariel, I swore in life to aid you in this fight, and against my will you raised me to join it here in Avernus. Yet I am still loyal to what you once were, and what you should be still. And you can see shame and sorrow and sadness on her face. She fights it. She tries to suppress it, but you see this mix of emotions on her face. Lulu
you can still
whispers
do right.
in Celestial. She says, I think we're getting to her. To you, Akazriel.
You can still do right. You can free these people and send their city home.
Her gaze kind of turned to the sword that Diapek wields. Lulu kind of nudges you, Diapek. I think let her hold it. Let her get close to it.
I think that's the best idea.
You can kind of feel the sword, which is sentient, kind of it communicates a mix of emotions to you, Diapek. There's probably some fear. There's some affinity or warmth that you feel it kind of communicate that you kind of would interpret as some kind of lingering loyalty or connection to Zariel.
All right. Without another thought, look to Lulu in the eye and step forward. Zariel, you take this sword and return to the light and free these people of El Terrell. You will be doing what you claim to want to do, which is saving innocents from this demon war that you fight.
She
will finally be completing your quest.
She steps closer to you, and you feel the sword beginning to kind of glow brighter and thrum a bit louder. And you feel it kind of like, you feel it begin to kind of like levitate. Do you resist or do you let it go?
So it's given me a feeling of this is good.
Yeah. Almost a mix of like fear and hope, I guess.
All right.
It's complicated.
Can I put a quick insight check onto her?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a 14. Woo.
She seems conflicted, and it's hard to get a total read on her, but you sense that you've gotten to her some, but
I'm not gonna stop it then.
Okay. Yeah, the sword kind of glows brighter and like levitates in front of her. She slowly and cautiously, as if she's afraid that it will burn her, kind of reaches out and just ever so slightly touches it. And Lulu kind of flies over. Diapek, because you were the last, because you were saying that last. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage because of all the aid.
Had so much AIDS.
Okay.
21.
Zariel, her trembling hand reaches toward the gleaming hilt of her sword, Her fingers brush against it, and she grimaces as radiant light sears her flesh. Lulu kind of flies close and kind of cautiously approaches, and as her grip tightens on her sword, she kind of gasps in pain. And then you see tears start to just roll down her cheeks as she begins to speak. Through tears of confusion and sorrow, the bit of a smile is almost like dawning joy wash over her face. And she says, I Zariel, supplicate myself before the holy light of justice. If it should accept me, I vow to take up this blade once more in her service. The Archdevil's words hang in the air for a silent moment, and she glances upward in agonized uncertainty. Then Zariel is bathed in a brilliant wash of radiant light. Her fiery halo disappears, and feathers burst from her feathery wings. All of her diabolical features vanish as her angelic form is restored. At the sight of this blessed transformation, Lulu gasps in delight and transforms into a celestial mammoth with golden fur, feathered wings, and gleaming tusks.
Yes!
Fuck you.
We fucking did it.
What?